The number one performance enhancing substance that you're not using sounds like a really clickbait title. It's a good title. I'm being honest though. The number one performance enhancing substance that you're probably not using, but certainly many professional athletes are using this, is lidocaine. I'm 100% serious, actually, even though I'm smiling and laughing about it. Lidocaine. What the hell? You mean that stuff that you can get patches and you can just buy it at Walmart? That's a performance enhancing substance. Yes, it is. You can also get an injectable form. You need to see a doctor. They will give you an injection of lidocaine. But yeah, I've been trying to explain this to people for a long time. Everyone thinks that professional athletes are on these different performance enhancing drugs and stuff like that, and I couldn't possibly tell you how misguided that is. They're not using nearly what you think they're using. It's kind of like these people that think that every bodybuilder is on these amazing trend cycles. Oh, I heard that guy uses 3 grams of tren a week. Motherfucker, if that guy was using 3 grams of tren a week, he wouldn't be able to sleep. So yeah, he's probably not going to be doing very well at bodybuilding. There is a point, yes, there is a point where you're doing too much. I'm sure you've heard people talk about things like test flu, or, oh, that guy's taking 500 milligrams of Anadrol a day. You would die of liver failure. So no, people are not taking nearly as much as you think that they're taking, or that people are claiming that someone is taking on some stupid YouTube video. Let me tell you about Chris Bumstead's cycle, what I think he took. Sure. Same thing with these different forums. Like, oh, they're taking this many grams of this and this many grams of that. And it's like, no, they're not. Not even close. If you were taking that much growth hormone, you would be diabetic. You would have insulin resistance. So what is a real performance-enhancing drug? Painkillers. It's been that way all along, man. Why do you think people line up for the T-Train, Toradol? This is the reality of elite level sport, and I don't know how to explain this to people, but it's like the video I talked about where, like, how do pro athletes heal so fast? They don't. They just play injured. That's what they do. They get paid. Oh, you tore something, or you pulled something, you strained something, etc. I'm paying you $10 million to play a fucking game. Get your ass back on the field. Now, that's not to say that we don't give them some assistance, right? So we're going to give you, some ketorolac, which is great for your brain, and we're going to pump you full of, whatever we have to give you, whether it's lidocaine or, cortisone. Cortisone is fantastic. Whatever it takes to get your ass back on the field, we're going to give you that. And so the real performance-enhancing drug is painkillers. Anything that kills pain. Whether it's non-steroidal inflammatory drugs or it's steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like cortisone shots and dexamethasone. Dexamethasone is really popular. And of course, things like lidocaine. Oh, you got tendinitis? We'll just shoot some lidocaine in it. Good to go. And that's why I am sharing this, that the number one performance-enhancing substance that you're not using is lidocaine, because you don't have access to dexamethasone, or at least I assume you don't. You probably don't have access to hydrocortisone, unless your doctor is kind of shady, giving you some needles and some cortisone to shoot yourself with cortisone shots. I would hope not. So then for the average person, what's your option? Lidocaine. And you can get it in a whole bunch of different forms. There's all these different creams and gels, and there's liquids, and there's patches even. You can get lidocaine, you put lidocaine on something, and it feels 1,000 times better. Now, I'm going to give you a little tip here, because your good friend Chad always helps you out. There is now diclofenac gel, it's Voltaren, available over the counter. This is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory cream. If you mix a little bit of this with your lidocaine and rub it into a wrist, a knee, whatever it is that's bothering you, an elbow, you will get both the benefits of the lidocaine, which is numbing it, as well as the benefits of the anti-inflammatory that is now in that area. I don't recommend that you actually do this. I want to be really clear. You should not be training through an injury. So, like, if you hurt your elbow, like, do something else. If you tell me, oh, it really hurts to bench press, I don't know, maybe don't bench press for a bit. Maybe get a football bar, and that way you are moving your arms, and you should still train. I think it's important that you train with tendonitis. I mean, if you tell me, oh, I have tendonitis in my knee, it's like, okay, maybe we do some leg extensions instead of doing, box squats. You follow what I'm saying? I'm not telling you don't train. I'm telling you just choose a different fucking movement, bro. Like, come on, really seriously? Like, hammer curls make my arm hurt. Can you do a different variation of a curl? Maybe you could do chin-ups. Maybe you could do pull-ups. Oh man, my shoulder's all fucked up. Maybe you don't need to do overhead presses today. Maybe an incline press would be sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So intelligently, you should train around these things. But, hey man, I get it. You get it. We all get it. Whenever the day of the competition comes, come on. Like, you spent all this money to compete in a fucking meet. Like, you want to pull out of the meet and lose that money? You've been training for 6 months for this meet. And then now, like, it just happens to be that in that last week, all of a sudden your fucking knee flares up. Like, nobody wants to miss that. So this isn't medical advice. It definitely is not medical advice. Your doctor would tell you that you should just skip it. But I know me. And I know I wouldn't fucking skip it. So there's an opportunity for me to compete in this judo tournament. And my elbow's kind of bothering me. Well, I'm not telling you to do this. In fact, I'm going to tell you don't do this. But I'm going to tell you what I would do. I would get some Voltaren and some, lidocaine, whatever it comes in. Aspercream, I think, is one of the brands. I think there's another one. They should make it for bug bites. But it's like 4% lidocaine. And you mix those two together, and I would rub that into my elbow because my elbow is bothering me or something, or my wrist is bothering me, right? Man, I've been training for 3 months leading up to this weightlifting meet. My wrist is all flared up. I definitely still want to compete anyways. So I'm going to put Voltaren and lidocaine on my wrist to get the inflammation out so I can compete. After the meet's over, of course, I'm going to be intelligent, because you should. Don't train through an injury that you don't have to train through. I get it if you're competing. If you're competing, come on. Like, everybody knows how this game goes. It's you go. That's what you do. But in training, don't be stupid. So don't just don't abuse this. Don't just do it every day so you can keep squatting until your fucking tendon tears off. Don't do that. But if you have to do it for a day to get through, a game, a meet, a tournament, whatever, this is an option. This is an option that I'm providing to you because someone should tell you. Not because I recommend you do it, but just because you should be aware of it. And it might make a difference for you. Like I said, don't do it in training, though. Be smart about training. Like, if your knee hurts, choose a different squat variation. Sometimes my knee hurts and I can't back squat, but I can front squat no problem. It's like, why does my knee hurt when I back squat? But yet, front squats feel completely fine. So I'm just going to fucking have you on front squats. Like, I'm still squatting. It's still building my legs. It's still training my legs. I'm still building. I'm still squatting. It's just, for whatever reason, back squats make my knee hurt today. Front squat instead. And even if it flares up for a fucking week, sometimes you're like, man, for a whole week I couldn't back squat. I had to front squat instead. Okay, big deal. You still made progress. You're still squatting. This is people that get weird about shit oh man, I can't do some press variant that they want to do. And it's get a football bar. Get a camber bar. Get a Duffalo bar or a Buffalo bar or whatever it takes for you to do this thing. And all of a sudden you find out, okay, if I change my grip just a little bit, all of a sudden the elbow pain disappears. That's smart training. You training around something is smart. My shoulders hurt. I can't back squat because my shoulders hurt. Have you heard of a safety bar? No? You should get one. Safety squat bar. Super easy on your shoulders. If your shoulders are sore, don't force yourself into a back squat. Just get a fucking safety bar. Oh, look, you can keep squatting and it doesn't affect your shoulders at all. You can now have your hands in front of you. So that's all. Train smart. But when it comes time to compete, I get it. And that's why I'm sharing this with you.